In this week's video, we'll talk about Jack versus the red-bellied black snake, the woes we're having with the electrical circuit within the house itself, bringing you up to speed with some of the rubbish and bits and pieces we need to remove, and have a quick chat about the rat's tail grass we have on the property. Now that intro's got your attention, just a bit of a quick heads up. This is an older video that was over on the farm channel, but I thought I'd post it here on the main channel, what is our main channel now, just to bring a lot of you folks up to speed who may have missed what was on the other channel, just to do with settling into the farm here. There is a bit of updated vision in this video showing you the jobs that we have done up to date. And there may be one or two more of these catch-up videos coming to the channel. We'll just wait and see. But anyway, I do hope you enjoy it, and I will catch you next video. How's it going, folks? It's Rob.
And Bianca. And Jack.
Jackie boy, come. Up you come. Oh no, he's going to go under instead. Jack is home. Jackie boy is doing a lot better.
Yes, he is.
After giving us a bit of a scare early on in the week.
With a... trying to make friends with a red belly.
Yeah, Jack has this habit of going up to critters like green tree frogs, even the coastal carpet, juvenile coastal carpet python we've had here on the deck, and cane toads, and he goes up and bops them with his nose just to say g'day. So far he's got away scot-free until the other morning.
Yes.
He decided to do it to a red-bellied black snake. We heard a strange bark, went outside, saw a red-bellied black snake do a couple of mock strikes towards him. Told him to leave, which is his command to stand down, and noticed a couple of spots of blood on his lower lip. Yes. So what did you do, Bianca? After we stressed and panicked?
After freaking out,
yeah.
Ended up calling a couple of vets in the area and found a emergency hospital in Bundaberg. So we raced down to there, and they deal with snake bites quite a lot from the sounds of it. And he spent overnight, so 2 days, had lots of blood tests.
Lots of fluids?
Lots of fluids. He had a drip and a catheter, and sounds like he didn't like either of them, so he was sedated a lot. And
2 batches of anti-venom?
Venom, yep.
Yes.
But he's good. We just have to keep an eye on him for a week, and he has to be calm.
We thought we'd give you a bit of an update. Do you want to say he's not going to turn around, so he is happy. Yeah, so we'll leave the Jack bit there. You stressed us enough. Cost us actually, just to let you folks know, the cost of treatment was pretty much all the same price as our second-hand mower. We paid just under $3,000 for, would be brand new. His cost us almost $6,000 Australian just to get this treatment done. So, but as a result, he's put a bit of a dent in our budget, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, enough of that. Today we're going to go through a couple of lists, a bit of an update on where we're up to with the farm. So the first job, big job that has to happen, is...
the electricity.
Yeah.
So, valuable lesson learnt, if you're buying a house, do an electrical inspection.
Our house in Ipswich, when we bought that, all the electrics were exposed, so very easy for us to see, the building inspector to see. So we were fine, that house was fine. However...
Well, we did assume that with a solar system on the roof with an inverter that they would have made sure that everything was up to date. But the box appears to be older than the electrician.
Who's going to do the work on it? He was coming out to replace a couple of fans, took one down, looked at the wiring and said, no, he's not going to do that until he redoes the boxes, told us not to use any of the fans, ceiling fans, so we're using our portable fans. So all the circuit breakers are well and truly outdated. He's coming through next Friday to pretty much all replace everything. Thank you very much, Jack.
Yes.
Yeah, we really appreciate him slotting us in. But that is something that has to get done. Yep. The next big job that we need done is the termite trench. Actually, we'll deal with this now so you understand. The owners told a lot of furfies. They told a lot of tall stories. Bianca, what did the gentleman tell us after when we had the handover?
About the termites?
No, about what he was allowed to tell us.
Oh.
He slipped,
yes.
Slipped up.
Yeah, he slipped up and said, he was telling us about the water pipes, and then went, oh, what else am I allowed to tell you now? So he was clearly on strict instructions not to tell us the truth or anything until it was unconditional and we couldn't back out of the sale.
The termite trench, the building inspector he's also a pest controller. He went through all the paperwork the old owner had, looking at what had been done in the termite barrier trench. And she said all that paperwork would be left here, so we would be up to date for when the new guys come through. Because of the termite damage in the past, which we have fixed, we've fixed the hole that was in the house that we found in the floorboards. And
the whole wall panel.
So that's been updated, and yeah, we're now using it as a pantry ourselves. The tree removal, the water line. Another thing they told us, we asked them if the water to the house was secure. We knew that the piping into the house was a little bit dodgy. There is no valve just before the pump. There should be a valve so you can isolate the pump, work on the house or the pump itself to swap it over without turning off the valves from the tank. One of the valves from the tank has a stripped thread so it doesn't shut. The other valve does shut. So that means 25,000 litres of water. Now the tanks are full. If we needed to swap over the water tank, the water pump, we'd basically have to do a very quick job because we've got that amount of water we can't isolate. We were chatting to the gentleman afterwards. We did ask them if the water was secure, if the lines were all good. Yep, not a problem with the water lines. They're all fine, all good and dandy. Then on the handover, he told us, oh, but the lines have broken twice before and they've had to dig them up because that big tree that the guinea fowls all nest in and the water pipe is bolted to, guess what? The roots have breached the line twice previously. So we're looking at having to get that tree pretty much all taken out, which I think we have to get. That's a beautiful wasp.
That's a big boy.
Yeah. We're pretty much all going to have to get that tree taken down, and so we don't lose the water line into the house yet again. But in saying that, those tanks we want to move eventually somewhere else anyway, or set up other water tanks for the house somewhere else. So it's just another cost we didn't really filter in. I'm reading the wrong thing. Factor into the cost. No, we didn't. The next thing is a water filter. A big thing with the water filter is tank water is generally fine, not a problem. But unfortunately the gutters are exposed, which lead into an exposed downpipe, which leads into the water tank. And when I was changing the pipe in there, when we fixed up the run from the house, I noticed there were dead frog floating in the water. So that means, while generally speaking that amount of water, some people would drink it, that's fine. We just prefer not to. So we've been drinking filtered water we bring up from the Ipswich house on our different runs, or more recently just bottled spring water. We're actually going to get a water filter just put on the house, just to make sure, you know, that we don't contract any illnesses.
Well, also when we have people come over and visit, they're not used to it and can make them sick.
We can make them crook, yeah. Even though we would become used to it, yeah, it can make them crook. The other things around the house we really need to address are the dump runs. So we need to clean out one of the sheds there that we want to fix up and use as a storage for feed. It's on a concrete slab. The metal sits nicely on the concrete. It's just had an area rusted out at the back. The burn pile needs to be taken to the dump because we don't want to burn the mattress and all the plastic down in there in the dump pile. The burn pile sitting right on top of watershed into one of the dams down the back. That's one of the things Daniel said. He said remove and remediate that area because there will be flow down into the dam, and I didn't need him to tell me that. I know enough, or both of us know enough. Bianca works in waste to know that water moves toxins into a water body, and we just don't want them in that dam, especially because we know there's crustaceans and fish in there. So yeah. And the last bit of a spend around the house, we actually knew, we saw that the building inspector didn't actually pick up one of the issues with it, but the deck stumps are rusted out and rotting out, and also the joists that run across that hold the floorboards. In some places they're nice and hollow where the screws have gone down, so that needs replacing. And Tim and Craig, a few mates, have put their hands up and said they'd help us out. So yeah, down the road that's something that's going to have to be done, and also the stairs leading up to the deck are the old stairs to the front door before they renovated, and there's a fair bit of rot on the top bit.
In the stringers.
And they're being braced by some aluminium angle. That's where we're up to at the moment. There's some sheds that you're interested in removing.
Yes, I want to get rid of the humpy, which is where she held the dogs. That's all badly termite eaten.
I didn't realise how bad until the other day.
Did you go and poke it?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
But there's electrics that are running to it, so we need the electrician to come around and disconnect that for us so we can tear it down.
Yeah, Jack said he'd do that. That's easy.
Yep, and I want to move the hoop houses away and the chicken pen away so there's no risk of rats and mice coming closer to the house.
Basically move them out of zone, because that's zone 1 in the house area, and move them out of zone 1. The house is zone 0, this is permaculture zoning. House is zone 0, that sort of area, sort of classing as zone 1.
Yep.
Move it down to zone 2, which is the old pig area.
Yep.
Which has a nice shade structure that we can incorporate into a day run.
And then if there is rats and mice and the snakes are interested, they can stay down there.
But yeah, the hoop houses will be used in aquaponics. We've got to work out, we might need to get Jack out here again at a later date and run some more electricity elsewhere in the paddock. There's actually electricity down to the pig shed. So if we can find that and see if it's live and isolate it, we might be able to use that further on down the track as some aquaponics. Get rid of a couple of sheds, and so we can use some of the sheds actually to rebuild and make rodent-proof the feed shed.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got parts and bits and pieces which are going to save us quite a bit actually. Now on to the bigger stuff. Had a few people point out that we got rat's tail grass, and we knew, we were 95% sure when we walked the paddock that we had
could highly possibly be rat tail grass.
We inquired with the owner, and he said no, not that I know of, which you'd be aware, because it is a big weed species everyone knows about. I mean, viewers have already pointed out, quite a few of them, that it's GRT or giant rat tail grass, so we were quite aware that it was there. Yeah. We're not naive in these sorts of things. The same as the earthworks, we'd already looked into it before we made an offer on the property. There's a number of things we can do to control it. I'll just go through the list. You can fix the nutrition in the soil, because most weed species are basically an indication of something lacking in the soil. For the soil here in particular, we could help fix the soil nutrition by adding some more organic matter. What did Daniel call it? It's not sandy loam, it's sandy loam. We improve the soil biology. Again, adding more organics into the soil helps. Adding competitor species, Bianca's already looked into a few for that.
Yep.
Mow with a flail mower, so not only just cut back regularly before the seed heads, mow with a flail mower, because it just smashes all the organic matter up into fine particulate and spreads it out. You don't end up with a windrow like you can end up with some slashes. So just that's one of the top things. Just keep it down and close to the ground level as you can, and you'll find the new shoots are actually palatable to some animals. I've heard cows and sheep eating it. We noticed
the wallabies were eating it.
The wallabies were eating it. We've seen them eat it in the paddock, so we know it is palatable at certain stages. And also, I'm going to try the non-anic based herbicides as well. I've mowed a section down to do a bit of a trial, and also the stuff that's in the yard, I'm going to go and spray that. It's not like a glyphosate or I keep forgetting the other one. But unfortunately, glyphosate and the other one that is used regularly are both not good for waterways, and where we've got most of the rat tail grass that we want to control straight up. All the watershed from there runs into our dams. I want to do aquaculture as part of the draw card for this property with those dams out the front there. And it's bad for fish, it's bad for mollusks, and it's bad for crustaceans, glyphosate and the other one.
But also too, it goes straight into a creek system, which is quite sensitive. Flows down and joins the river.
The start of the Isis River. So we really don't want to be putting those systemic herbicides down there, where I'm going to basically not be able to do the aquaculture if we use it in great quantities. Yep. Not only that, with the herbicide, there is also withholding period for your cattle. It's 14 days. They can't feed on any grass that's been treated with that for 14 days before they're sent to slaughter. Now, we do not have any paddocks on this property that doesn't have rat tail grass in it, and we would have nowhere where we could withhold the cattle away from a treated area before they were sent to slaughter. That's if you follow it by the T. I don't know, by the book. I don't know how other people deal with giant rat's tail grass on their own properties when they've treated it with certain herbicides, but it's something that's popped up in the government literature when we've read it. So
basically, we know.
We know, yes, folks, we know. We're onto it. We have a management plan.
Yep, and it's going to be a long-term process.
Rabbit it on long enough?
Yep.
Yes. We will pretty much leave it there. I do hope you're all well and happy and you're enjoying these videos. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Cheers, folks.
See ya.